Now, while Tanzania works to control bird flu, another group here in the U.S. is working to shape public opinion about Africa. Appreciation for the continent's culture and investment potential is improving worldwide, but negative images of Africa persist. The Africa Society of the National Summit on Africa has been working to change these perceptions by targeting young Americans, even those in primary school. Africa Society head Benedette Paulo recently told us that many still relate to Africa only as a place full of poverty, disease, and war.
Starving babies that you see. And we wanted to make sure that they knew about the promise and potential of the continent, its contribution, its people, its many languages, its diversity. And so we have very specific programs that target all aspects of our society.
What would you say has been your biggest accomplishment in trying to eradicate that perception?
Our flagship program is called Teach Africa, and Teach Africa goes to the heart of this issue. First, we begin by bringing superintendents and principals together and marrying them with people and policymakers, people in the cultural and performing arts, African ambassadors. And once they have that exposure, they then go back to their schools and encourage their teachers to take part in the next phase, which is the training of teachers that we do through USAID with Discovery Channel Global Education Partnership. And then the third phase is a youth forum for the students who've learned new messages and hopefully have acquired new information as a result of Teach Africa.
Another program that you have is the Conversation and Dinners with the Ambassador series. Personally, I attended the one where you hosted the ambassador of the DRC, Faida Mitifu, and also the South African ambassador to the United States, Mr. Welile Nhlapo. What has been the impact of such series?
We thought that it would be a good idea for Africans, primarily African ambassadors, to come to the Congress and sit down and talk with people like Chairman Donald Payne and Senator Lugar about their countries and their view of our bilateral relations. And it's been very, very instructive because they can speak directly to them and give their vantage point. Another one that's reaching millions of people. We aired the third African presidential tour with our travel channel partner. And what we're doing is a head of state leads the tour. So we had President Museveni first in 2003. That went into 200 million households. And President Museveni himself told me that it increased tourism in the following year by 40%. And the second one was with President Kufuor. We did it in 2005, and that was even a movie on Delta Airlines that you can choose.
And now tell me about the most current one with former Botswanan President Festus Mogae.
It captured the transition of President Mogae leaving office after a decade of good governance and transferring power to President Ian Khama, and told the story of Botswana.
How effective do you think the Africa Society can be in terms of effecting policy in a new administration?
I think that after the National Summit on Africa, of course, that was a national mobilization. 3 pieces of legislation were passed: AGOA, debt relief, and HIV/AIDS. And President Clinton, when he signed the AGOA bill, said one of the reasons it passed was because of the National Summit on Africa. The Africa Society can't do it by itself. But we, together with our constituents and those of other Africa-focused organizations and other NGOs, we can do it. We can exert enough pressure to do it.
For more information on these stories, go to voanews.com/TV2African.